Okay, so let's get ready to start. So we'll still be starting off in sitting position. Okay, so first thing, as we usually do, is just to check our posture first. So kind of feel what your pelvis is doing, what you're sitting on. Okay, so we don't want to be kind of rounded. We don't need to be all the way arched. Okay, just somewhere in the middle. Okay, so just think of your pelvis like a bowl of water. So we want the bowl to be kind of leveled. Okay, so it's not, definitely don't want to be kind of pouring water out the back. Okay, don't need to be pouring water out the front. Okay, just somewhere leveled, and you should be feeling it. Kind of, should feel like you're sitting on a piece of bone in your, just underneath. Oops. Let me just let one more person in. Okay, so we'll work on the front first, breathing in to the front, and then we'll work on breathing into the back. So let's start off with the 3 levels of breathing again. Okay, so roughly belly button leveled. Okay, come out a little bit. Okay, so it should be soft. Okay, and just take a couple of breaths at your own pace. See if you can feel a little bit of pressure into your fingers. Okay, so as you breathe in, your belly should kind of expand. Okay, as you breathe out, it should just naturally sink back in. Okay, so we're not kind of bearing down or squeezing down. It just should naturally kind of come back into the body. Okay, so let's just try a couple of breaths. Okay, also maybe pay attention to where else you kind of feel pressure or movement. Okay, so generally speaking, everyday life, we're trying to get the movement or the breathing out of our neck and shoulders. Okay, and more down here. Okay, so let's check the second level. Okay, roughly just the base of your kind of your chest bone, just a little bit, or just find any of the ribs. Okay, and once again, breathing in. You see if you can feel your ribs expanding. So just as a review, this is almost like an umbrella. So as you breathe in, it should kind of open up all the way, kind of around 360 degrees. Okay, as you breathe out, it should naturally just come back in a little bit as well. Okay, so let's give it a try. You can also put your other fingers down here as well. See if you can get both the diaphragm and the ribs to move at the same time. So we don't want just one of them to do all the work. We also want the ribs to be moving a little bit as well. Okay, and lastly, you're going to try to get a really big breath in. See if you can move this to last. So still through the diaphragm moving a little bit first, the ribs, and then lastly, when you take a really big breath in, then the shoulders and the chest kind of comes up. Okay, but it'll be like 1, 2, 3. Okay, so you can just find somewhere in the chest. I usually go by just the bottom of the armpits. Okay, so as you pick a breath in, see where you feel the movement first. Okay, so into the diaphragm, the ribs, and then you take a really big breath in. Okay, and the chest and the shoulders move then. As you breathe out, okay, everything kind of sinks back down a little bit. Okay, so kind of 1, 2, 3 again. Okay, so if you take a really big breath in and you're not quite used to it, you can get a little bit lightheaded. So remember to stop at any points you feel uncomfortable, or at least you can move a little bit. Sometimes it can help as well. You're getting lightheaded because suddenly there's much less carbon dioxide in your body compared to before. Because when we breathe in and out, we're not just trying to get oxygen in. Most of the time when we when we do exercise and we're breathing more quickly, your body is actually trying to get rid of the carbon dioxide more than it's trying to get more oxygen in. Okay, so sometimes when your body's not used to that balance of oxygen and carbon dioxide, you can get lightheaded. Okay, so that was kind of the front. Okay, we're gonna try to open up the back a little bit. Okay, so that's kind of a review of what we did last time. Okay, so remember we don't want to just go in front. It should be kind of umbrella. It should be a 360 kind of expansion. So we're gonna use a breath to try to open up, kind of loosen out the back a little bit. It would be easier if you have like a small stool or something that you can kind of prop your legs up on. Okay, you can also just kind of lean forward a little bit as well if you don't have anything that can prop your legs up. The idea is that we're trying to limit the kind of expansion forward. Okay, so the pressure has to go somewhere else. Okay, so sometimes when you can't kind of breathe in here, you might try to breathe in for the chest and shoulders a little bit more. Some people might feel almost the pressure going down towards the pelvis. Okay, we don't want that to like happen like really a lot. It does happen, but we don't want to just all the pressure going there would cause some problems for some people. Okay, we want to send the pressure more towards the back. Okay, so kind of pay attention to when we're breathing in a more kind of flexible position. So just kind of feel where the pressure is going first. Okay, so don't try to take a deep breath in. Okay, just get some ways to get your knees a little bit closer to your chest. Okay, and as you breathe in, just kind of lightly feel where the pressure is going. Okay, it might take some kind of time to develop the awareness. Okay, but what we're going to do now is we're going to take a breath out, more or less kind of full breath out. Okay, and when you breathe in, try to see if you can limit the expansion in the front and try to breathe into the back a little bit more. Okay, so you should almost feel a little bit of movement in the back area. Okay, so it might take a little bit of, it's okay if you can't feel much. Okay, just trying your best to feel where the pressure is going. Okay, so kind of full breath out. Okay, and take a breath in. Okay, and breath out. Okay, so just see if you can feel the back expanding a little bit as you take a breath in. Okay, so once again, just breathe in and breathe out, but as you breathe in, see if you can send the air towards the back. Okay, slowly you can try to take a bigger breath in. Okay, and we're just going to do 3 to 5 breaths. Okay, and slowly coming back out. Put this away first. Okay, and let's just loosen up our back again. So I'll just try to do the opposite a little bit. So see if you can bring your chest up. So just, anytime you spend longer periods of time kind of rounded, then let's spend a little bit more time in the opposite direction. Okay, so now let's try front to back together. So scrap, you can, if you have a band, you can use also as a sort of towel. We're going to check just kind of all the way around. So just the 3 levels again. It's still in a good level of your pelvis. Okay, as you breathe in, just see if you can feel just expansion all the way around. Just once again, first step is just being aware of what's happening. Second step be, can I change a little bit? So let's just try 5 breaths at each level. Change the tightness a little bit if you need a little bit more feedback. Pause as long as you need in between. Move a little bit if you feel like you're a little lightheaded. And just switch levels whenever you feel comfortable. Okay, this is the one that you probably should feel the most all the way around. Okay, maybe let's try to send the air towards the back side a little bit more. A lot of people can have, their ribs can be a little stuck, especially if they round it most of the time. The back can be a little tight. This one is mostly kind of going up, so there's still kind of ribs all the way up. So let's try as well. So probably this is the one that makes you the most lightheaded, just because it is a full breath. Okay, and let's shift things out a little bit. Okay, so kind of pay attention to what you're doing the rest of the class as well. So still primarily trying to breathe into the diaphragm and with the ribs. Okay, so both expands together. Okay, so there are benefits to kind of trying to breathe just the diaphragm, because it does kind of move our internal organs a little bit. So some people would say that it almost like a little bit of massage inside. But when we're exercising, we're moving, we do want it to be the diaphragm and the ribs at the same time. So we want to spread out the pressure, not just kind of downwards, but also sideways and also backwards as well. Okay, so let's get into the standing position a little bit. So today we're going to try maybe do the kind of modified Tai Chi or the simplified Tai Chi a little bit more. Okay, if you need to sit down at any point, feel free to do so to take a break. Okay, but we might do more repetitions. Okay, and we're just trying to practice the same type of breathing while we're in motion, just so it's more applicable to kind of what we do day to day, and also makes it a little bit more interesting as well. Okay, so still standing maybe about shoulder width or armpit width apart. Okay, so we're still also checking our posture first. So in general, we are just trying to lengthen our body. Okay, so think of someone holding your head and they're trying to pull it towards the top. Okay, so you're making yourself taller. Okay, check your pelvis. Okay, so I tend to have a kind of what we call anterior pelvic tilt, so my pelvis tends to be falling forward, so which you can see kind of from my belt. Okay, so a lot of people might have some issues. Okay, so let's try to see if you can, because the front of the hips are a little bit tight. Okay, so let's try to bring the front up a little bit, okay, without over contracting the abs. So we're not trying to crunch ourselves in, okay, we're just trying to lift it up a little bit. Okay, so while we're here, let's stretch the front of the hips a little bit, just because it tends to be a little tight. Okay, so very similar stretch to what we do in the other class, but we're gonna have 1 foot forward, 1 foot back, probably a chair closer to the front leg, on the side of the front leg. Okay, and you're gonna have, if you feel comfortable, see if you can get the back leg closer to behind the front. Okay, so more in line. Okay, so once again, lift the front a little bit, and you might feel a little bit of stretch already in front. Okay, and lightly push the hips forward. Okay, so even more of a stretch here. Okay, and now let's practice a couple deep breaths again. So still trying to breathe. You can use other hand to feel what you're doing with the diaphragm and with the ribs. Okay, so okay, and this time even try to see if you can breathe more into one side. Okay, so later on we combine the two sides. Okay, but see if you can breathe into one side a little bit more. Okay, lightly see if you can press your hips a little bit more forward. Okay, let's make sure your pelvis is still kind of leveled off. Okay, and just deep breath in and out. Okay, and we're going to switch sides. Okay, once again, level off the pelvis. Lightly press it forward until you feel a little bit of a stretch here. Okay, and let's try to breathe into this side. Okay, and you may find one side moves a little differently compared to the other. Okay, so let's move on to the, let's try two sets of movements today. The first set is going to be a combination of what we did the last couple of weeks. Okay, so first step, once again, still lengthen through the entire spine. Okay, make sure your pelvis is kind of leveled off. Okay, first step, we're just going to breathe in, or just any sort of breathing while we're lifting the hands up. Okay, you're going to bring your arms in, closer to your chest. Okay, and as you breathe out, you're going to let your body kind of sink down. Open your fingers a little bit, like you're trying to press down on a little bit of a table. Okay, and once again, just at your own pace. Okay, and just sink down. Okay, still trying to breathe in the diaphragm and the ribs. Get it breathing out to the shoulders, even though we're moving our arms. Okay, now this time we're going to raise one arm, okay, and the other hand is going to go to the bottom, okay, and return one foot out. Okay, so the leg that's moving is the one side of the arm that's up. You're going to shift your weight towards the other side. Okay, shoulders still relaxed. Okay, you're going to take a big step forward along the same line. Okay, and as you breathe out, you're going to press the back hand or the top hand into the other hand. Okay, so try to still level off your pelvis. Okay, back leg is kind of like more or less straight. Okay, a little bit of difference this time. So we're going to bring the front arm, we're going to bring it out. Okay, and imagine you're grabbing something and you're pulling it towards the back, shifting your weight along to the back leg as well. Okay, so we want to feel a weight shift from the front to the back. Okay, so most of my weight is now on my back leg, so I should be able to lift my front leg up kind of relatively easily. Okay, if your weight is more equally distributed, you might find that your weight's going to shift if I try to lift this leg up. Okay, so shift your weight to the back. Okay, turn your pelvis towards the leg that you have the weight on. Okay, and back to the holding the ball position. Okay, and once again, you just shift your waist forward, pressing the backhand forward, turning your pelvis. Once again, bring your arms out, grab onto someone or something, okay, and shift your weight back. Okay, and we'll repeat just a couple of more times. Okay, but feel the weight shifting onto the front leg as well. Okay, so you should be able to kind of tap the back foot as well. Okay, without your whole body kind of stomping or shifting. Okay, and then bring your leg back in and back to the sun position. Okay, so this is just very kind of simplified. It's not proper Tai Chi, okay, but we're just using this as a movement, as a way to move while we're taking a couple of breaths in. It's also kind of balance exercise because we're learning to shift our weight front to back as well. Okay, so let's try the same thing on the other side now. Okay, so still, let's just do stuff from the top. So still taking a couple of breaths in. Okay, and once again, just sink down. Okay, how low we go in this class, it doesn't, we don't care so much. Okay, as long as it's pain-free. Okay, you're going to turn a little bit, and whatever side you're turning to, that hand is going to be up. Okay, about 45 degrees out. You're going to shift your weight over to that one leg. Okay, so you can always check if your weight is on by seeing if you can tap the other foot. Take a step forward. Okay, and you're going to turn, press your backhand into the front a little bit. Turn your pelvis. Okay, so belly button is facing the same way as the leg that weights on. Okay, you're going to turn your hand out, grab onto something and bring it back. Okay, one more time. Okay, step back. Okay, and you can relax in between. Okay, so that's the kind of the combination of all the steps we did first couple of weeks. Okay, so let me check the time. Okay, so let's just practice one more time. So we're going to do about 3 to 5 times each way. Okay, just for review. Okay, and today we're going to go on to a second, not a form, but a second variation. Okay, slightly different. Okay, but similar idea. We're still trying to get the breathing out of our shoulders and neck. So when we're moving arms, shoulders are relaxed. Okay, elbows almost a little bit hanging. Okay, trunk is you're breathing in and out into the diaphragm, into the ribs. your body is stable but not stiff, okay? And you're just practicing the weight shift from side to side, front to back. A little bit of stretch here as well. Okay, so let's start from the top. Okay, pick whatever side you feel comfortable to start with. Okay, we're gonna do just 3 to 5 times per side. Okay, but still start off with 3. Just a very basic movement. Once again, sinking down. Okay, this is when you pay more attention to what you're doing with your breath. And once again, how low we're going down, we don't care so much in this class. Okay, as long as it is pain free. Okay, so pick a side. Whatever side you're turn into, that hand is going to be up. Okay, shift your weight. Step forward. Press and turn. Weight on the front leg a little bit more. Okay, turn and grab something. Pull it back. Okay, and just repeat. Okay, 3 to 5 times, and just come back. Okay, onto the other side, but 3. Just a basic step first. Okay, so whatever side you're turning to, is the arm that's going to be up. Step and turn. Okay, and loosen up a little bit. Okay, so something you can practice at home. Okay, while we're paying attention to what we're doing with our breaths. Okay, so let's do something slightly different today. Okay, so we are going to do something more singles-legged. So we're going to be staying more on one foot a little bit more. If you don't feel comfortable, make sure you have enough support around. Okay, so what we're going to do is that we're going to kind of bring, so instead of both arms up, we're going to bring one hand up. Okay, and then the other foot is going to go in front a little bit and do a tap. Okay, and coming back. Okay, so kind of similar, but a little bit different. Okay, so be shifting your weight onto one side. Okay, so you can tap on, you can lift this leg and just tap forward a little bit. Okay, so now this time, slightly different. Okay, when you hold here, okay, this hand is going to almost reach underneath and across. Okay, top hand is going to meet it somewhere in the middle. Okay, until your hand is kind of on the wrist. Okay, and then you're going to shift your weight, shift your hand onto the other side. You can bring your other foot back. Okay, and then you are just going to tap and hand is going to go down. Okay, so once in opposite direction, reach underneath, across, other hand meets it somewhere in the middle. Okay, everything goes to the other side. Okay, your weight shifts to the other side as well. Okay, and you're going to tap and kind of press down on this hand. Okay, so I should go back a little bit. Okay, just repeating. Okay, so reaching down and across. Other hand kind of comes in. Okay, everything shifts to the other leg. Okay, and you're going to tap and okay, and once again, everything shifts. Okay, and repeat. Okay, so now we add one more step to it. Okay, so instead of while we're holding here, okay, we're going to reach down. Okay, hips goes back. Okay, and then comes back up. Okay, so this is also kind of a balance component. Okay, usually our body follows where our eyes go. So if we look down, our body tends to go towards the ground. And that's something we're trying to kind of practice not doing in a sense. Okay, so we know that people tend to slouch, they look in the ground. Those people tend to fall more often. Okay, so we're kind of practicing that, the ability to kind of change our kind of gaze level. Even if you're looking on the ground, our body is still kind of still, we're still under control of our balance, and you can come back up. Okay, so still kind of here. Okay, so we're going to repeat. So reaching across, shift everything over to the other side. Okay, and reaching down the top hand. Okay, how low we go, once again, we don't really care as long as you feel safe. Okay, and come back out, okay, and repeat. Okay, and reaching down and up. Okay, I'm going to repeat. Okay, reaching down again. Weight is still on the back leg. Reaching down. Okay, and reaching up. Okay, and let's come back and relax for a second. Okay, so let's kind of practice these two steps one more time for today. Next week, we're going to add just one more step to the second one. Okay, but let's just do the first two one more time. Okay, so we start from the top with just the hand and one leg first. Okay, and then we add the hands and then the other step. Okay, remember you can pause and take a break at any point. Okay, so once again, you're going to bring out one hand up. That hand is going to be still almost holding on the table or lightly pressing on the table. Okay, shift your weight onto the top hand and go to tap. Okay, and come back. Okay, and this time the bottom hand is going to reach down and across. The other hand is going to meet it, and top hand kind of goes around somewhere around the wrist. Shift your body weight over to the other side. Okay, and then tap the other foot forward. Okay, and repeat. Okay, one more time. Okay, we add the step where we reach down. Okay, come back. Okay, repeat the same step as before. Top hand reach down. Bottom hand reach down across. Okay, and pause. Okay, so that's the second set of motions. Then we're going to review kind of next week as well. Okay, so just kind of very basic Tai Chi. Once again, if you want to learn proper Tai Chi, this is not proper Tai Chi. It's very simplified, kind of easy to learn because it's less it's not as long and there's not as many turning as well. Okay, so right now I think we're going to move on to the harmonica component. Okay, so if you don't have a harmonica, if you are not interested in that part, thank you for coming. Maybe we'll see everyone. See you next week. Okay, if you have any questions, you can ask right now as well. Okay, while we get ready for the harmonica part. So I'm going to make sure that you can hear me. Okay, so see you next time if you're not staying for the other part. Okay, so if you're staying, let's grab our harmonica. Okay, so today we're going to review the bottom half of the octaves. Okay, and then we're going to learn one song today. Okay, so just to review, the harmonica, you're still holding on to the back side. Okay, so it should still be the seated numbers on top. Okay, if your harmonica has numbers. Okay, so you still so the harmonica makes a sound if you blow in and out. Okay, so let's practice the do, re, mi, fa, sol first. Okay, so you can start from the number 4 hold. Okay, and you're trying to just blow in. Okay, so let's just try a longer note first. Okay, so let's make just to play for this 4. Okay, and then you're gonna do, let's try 2 seconds. So it'll be 1, 2. Okay, and you're gonna breathe in for the same hold for 2. Okay, so it'll be. And then breathing in. Okay, and then we're gonna move on to the next hold over. So the 5, blowing out again. Breathing in. Okay, blowing out. Okay, so let's try that first. Okay, so we'll do it one more time. So do, re, mi, fa, sol. Okay, let's try that one more time. Okay, so that's a basic do, re, mi, fa, sol. Okay, so we're just using this as a way to practice our breathing, also as a little bit resistant to blow, breathing in and breathing out. Okay, so we're going to go do, re, mi, fa, so, and then we're going to go backwards. So we're going to start from the 6, and then we're going to go blow, and then next hold, breathing in, breathing out. Okay, breathing in, breathing out. Okay, so we're just going from the top to the bottom. Okay, so we're going to start off from the 6, and then we're going to go down to 5, and so on. Okay, so blowing in, blowing out for the 6 first. Okay, breathing in for the 5. Blowing out. Breathing in. Blowing out. Okay, so that's just going up and going down. Okay, so let's try it one more time, going from the 6 down back to the 4. Okay, so once again, you're blowing out first. Okay, so we do using these 4 notes in our kind of a song today. Okay, so we're going to practice this one more time. So now instead of just going up or going down, we're going to go up, okay, and then back down. Okay, so starting from the 4 and then try to lengthen each note. Okay, just go your own pace again. Okay, and then going down. Okay, so do, re, mi, fa, so, fa, mi, re, do. Okay, so let's practice this one more time. Okay, I'm going to also share what, while you're practicing, I'm just going to try to share what we're going to play today. Okay, so hopefully everyone can see. Okay, so we're going to practice the scale one more time, but this is Mary Had a Little Lamb, so it'll be da 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 da. Okay, so if you look at the numbers here, so 5 means you're going through the 5th hole. Okay, and the up arrow means you're blowing into it. Okay, so red means breathing in, blue or up arrow means blowing out. Okay, so let's try to slowly go through the top row first. Okay, so we'll be starting off on the 5th hole. You'll be blowing out. Okay, shifting over to 4, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in. Okay, going back to the 5th hole, blowing out, blowing out, blowing out. Okay, so it sounds something like this. Okay, so let's give it a try. Okay, so breathing out, and then remember if you want to purse your lips a little bit in order to get a single note. Otherwise, you're going to get a whole chord. Okay, so you lightly imagine you're blowing through a candle. Okay, you can also kind of slightly sucking your lips a little bit, and then try to blow through a single note to get a single sound. Okay, so let's try the first row first. So once again, up means blowing out, down means breathing in. Okay, so let's try the second row. Okay, so we'll be breathing in, breathing in, breathing in. okay, and then breathing out, breathing out, breathing out. Okay, so it'll be and then you're moving on to the 6. Okay, so let's try the second row a little bit. Okay, and don't worry about how you're playing it. Okay, as you probably can tell, I'm learning at the same time. The idea is we're just practicing our breathing, okay, and making it maybe a little more interesting at the same time. Okay, so it'll be 4, 4, 5, 6, 6. Okay, so sorry. Okay. I think we still have time, so we'll quickly go through the bottom 2, and then let's just try to play it all together. So don't worry if you're messing up, I'm messing up. Let's just try to practice longer breathing out, breathing in, okay, and just having a little bit of fun. Okay, so a little more complicated next one. So it'll be, once again, be kind of pretty much the same thing as the top row. Okay, and then bottom row. Okay, so let's try to practice the bottom one more time. So from the third row. Okay, so we have 2 minutes left. Okay, let's try to go from the very top. Okay, so let's try to slowly go through the entire piece. Okay, you can think of just the song just to make it easier. Okay, so let's try. Okay, so that's the kind of whole song, just using the notes from Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol. So if you want me to send, you can just kind of search, if you want to practice this, you can just search for harmonica, Mary Had a Little Lamb, and you can probably find this. I can also send this out to everyone if you want to. Okay, but let's kind of always want to kind of clean up our harmonica just by shaking out the moisture inside. Okay, maybe wiping off a little bit. Okay, and make sure this dust doesn't really get in. Okay, so thank you for, I think that's all the time we have for today. So thank you for coming, everyone. Thank you for coming to messing around with me as well. Like you can tell I'm just learning as well. No problem.